Hey, it's Dan Moralez, and this is Homebuyer Radio, episode number 6, and we are just getting past the Christmas holiday, and a lot of us are thinking about next year in 2017 and maybe some resolutions that we have going into the new year. Now, maybe one of your resolutions for 2017 is to actually buy a house. Yes, that's a pretty big resolution. If you're like me, a lot of times we have these big resolutions for the new year, and some of them come true, and some of them don't come true. And of course, that's usually because we don't really follow up on some of them. I know for me, it was always a matter of losing weight and getting in better shape, although I feel like I've done a little bit better job of that this past year. Not that you need to know that, right? But going into 2017, hey, if your resolution is to purchase a house, how do you go about doing that? And one of the things that, it's kind of really a good time of year to think about that stuff because it's still winter and, it's not always the most active time for buying a house. But one of the things that people tend to overlook is it's the end of the year. Now, why does that matter? At the end of the year, kind of we close out our books for the year, if you will. And, at the beginning of the year, we start to think about, filing our tax return. And, maybe for some of us, it's getting a big tax refund and what to do with that money. Usually the biggest hurdle people have with buying a house, especially for the first time, is being able to come up with a down payment. Now, one of the great ways to come up with a down payment for a home purchase is to actually use your tax refund. Now, in many cases, you can buy a house, with a smaller down payment. And we've talked about that in one of the previous episodes, where in many cases you can buy a house, with anywhere from, 0 to 1% down to, even 3 to 5% down. So depending on your unique situation, you don't necessarily have to have a ton of money to be able to buy a house. And in many cases, what you get from a tax refund, plus even a little bit of money that you can save between now and the time you buy a house, may be enough to get you across the finish line. So as you think about the end of the year and you think about that New Year's resolution going into 2017, I want to kind of point out just one obvious source of funds. And of course, that would be your tax refund. So before you think of that big screen TV or something else that you'd like to maybe use that money for, maybe you can just, put that money aside and dedicate it towards the purchase of a new home. And, truth be told, it may be enough to get you across the finish line. And that is a heck of a lot better investment than that big screen TV that maybe you're thinking about. So hopefully you found this episode of the podcast helpful. Hopefully you had an awesome holiday season. I know I did. And I am looking forward to 2017 and great things in 2017. I hope you are as well. Again, my name is Dan Moralez, and I'm with North Point Bank. You can reach me at dan@danmoralez.com. That's DANMORALEZ.com, or at 616-931-4629. Hey, maybe you have an idea for a show. Maybe you have a question or some feedback or something that we can help to kind of make this podcast of greater value to you. Hit us up on Facebook. You can find us at Homebuyer Radio. If you search Homebuyer Radio, you'll find Homebuyer Radio by Dan Moralez, and your comments, feedbacks, reviews, anything that you can give us that would help us to make this better for you, we'd appreciate it. Hey, thanks for listening. My NMLS number is 709-729, and North Point Bank is an equal housing lender.